Hey friends, do you ever just like kind of get frustrated with yourself where you're just like, gosh, why are you like overthinking everything? Like, you are an imperfect being, you're an imperfect person, you have flaws, and that's what makes you human, that's what makes you beautiful, that's what makes life fun and interesting, and that's why we all grow physically and mentally, and just let it go, just let it go. So that was a message for myself before I continue the video, so I can let go. Because even though I know sometimes it can seem like I have it all together, I don't. I'm going on the same journey as the rest of you, and if anything, I just love that this is kind of like a safe space and a community for all of us to like just be mindful about our like growth and our development together. But that is not the topic today. Today's topic is losing myself in my relationship. So this past weekend, not even this past weekend, these past 2 weekends, me and my boyfriend were together the whole time, and we've been together we're going on 3 years. Well, we're like going on 2.5 years. Sorry, our anniversary is in December, and it's like, when is it right now? Like the end of February? We were together for 2 whole weekends, and that is not normal for us. That is not normal for us anymore. We typically have a date night once a week, and then we have a night that we're just like to ourselves, doing our own projects, doing our own things, hanging out with our friends so that we're not constantly enmeshed. And then I also have like a complete off day from everybody where I don't really like do much with anybody, if anything. And typically I just kind of lay around and just relax, because throughout the week I'm just like going. So I do that for myself. But in our relationship, we have those 2 main nights. So we'll have a date night, and then we'll have a night that we are just by ourselves, either with friends, but we're just not together. So we had 2 weekends of being together, and not only was it 2 weekends of being together, it was 2 weeks of being together, because we live together and we work from home right now, and we eat together, we work in the same house, we watch TV every night together, we were out together during the weekends, just a lot of together. Now, for those of you that have not been in a relationship that's been, I don't necessarily think time is a huge thing. I think that you'll just feel it. Once you feel after the rose-colored glasses comes off and like the extreme high, I can't breathe without you, has gone off, and then you're just kind of like, wait, I can breathe without you, and I should breathe without you, because if I constantly need you in my presence and around me, we're gonna get into it. And that is what happens with me and my boyfriend, for example, when we're constantly in just each other's space, and we're constantly in just here, present, just like he's here and I'm here, we're just going together, it's just the 2 of us everywhere we go. I lose myself, and I'm not gonna speak for him, I start to get just agitated and irritated, and I just need my space. Now, this is not just with my boyfriend, this is with anybody in general. I do this with my friendships, with my family members. There's nobody that I'm just like this with constantly. So this doesn't just apply to romantic gay relationships, romantic gay interracial relationships. This applies to every relationship, at least in my opinion. And it's losing yourself in your relationships. I think that the source or the core of it is I get so just caught up in having someone there, having someone's company, having someone to talk to, having someone to just everything. But then it's like when I need my own space to breathe and think and be an individual and be Kier, I can't bring my boyfriend along for all of that. I just can't. We're 2 different people. He likes, what does he like? He's working on this little computer thing right now. Oh, he likes a lot of Halloween stuff. He's working on Halloween props. He likes creative writing. He's working on writing a book right now. He does a lot of scripting too. Those things are very fun for me to observe. I can appreciate them. I can watch them. I can listen to him talk about them. Not learn about them. I do not want to learn about them. But I don't want to do that stuff. I don't. I want to do YouTube. I want to paint. I want to start learning how to sew so I can alter my own clothing. If you guys didn't know, I have like a little Depop that I was working on, and I came to find out that I just love thrifting in general, whether or not I'm selling this stuff or not. But a lot of the stuff I want to like fit my body. I have a tinier frame, and and the stuff is just too big. I want to learn how to do alterations and sewing. I want to have my own friendships and my own relationships and be with my friends just by myself. I don't want it to be me and him. I think that that is very important when you are in relationship, especially a romantic relationship, because there's such of a tendency to just kind of like go codependent on each other, where you do everything together and everything is with him, and if it's not with him, then why isn't it with him? And I think it's also funny because I also get friends that say that too, like, oh, where's such and such? It's like, oh, I don't know, I think he's with his friend somewhere. It's like, I don't just watch him all day every day, and we are not tied by the hip. We have our independence while being in relationship, which is interdependence, which I think is a huge term for me this year, is having healthy relationships that I can be my individual self and I don't get lost in somebody else. And getting lost in somebody else looks like you get frustrated when they do something and don't consider you, in a sense, or don't give you space in that space. So for example, my boyfriend decided to make plans that did not include me, and I felt something. I was just like, what is going on? Why do I feel like there's something off or wrong? Why do I feel like he just like sabotaged me or hurt me? Or why do I feel sad all of a sudden? Codependence. Like, we just became so dependent on each other, and it only takes, for us, it takes more than one weekend. To me, it's like one weekend is like, I don't need a whole week. Like, I need some time apart. Like, I've never been that type of person to be always in someone's face, always in somebody's company, but that's very highly individualized. So what I'll say is that for us, for me, I always try to talk about me. Once a week, I just need space. Actually, twice a week, I need space to myself. One day with nobody, and then another day where it's just me. Because if not, I become dependent on other people, and I lose myself in them because I don't know who I am without them. That might sound crazy, but it truly is what it is and what is going on, because I truly felt sad, hurt, and bothered by the fact that he decided to do something separate from me. So where that comes from, I mean, there could be a whole list of things where it came from, and honestly, to be quite frank, I don't think that that is important. I think it's important to recognize I'm feeling this because I'm too dependent on him. I don't know who I am without him, and therefore I need to be without him so I can figure out who am I again. I feel like that is a question that I ask myself constantly and all the time, just in my spiritual development, spiritual growth, and I'm just constantly mindful of, who am I? What's going on with me? What do I want to do? And it is not to say that no one else's opinion, nobody else matters, but it's to say that I matter first. I take care of myself first before I can take care of anybody else. And you guys know I live my life by that. I love that term, just filling my cup up before I try to even give anybody anything else. When you're on an airplane and it crashes, you gotta put your mask on first and then put your child's mask on. That's just how it works, because if you're not whole and you're not taking care of yourself, you cannot truly take care of somebody else. You are going to want something back from that other person, and it's going to create this cycle of, I did this for you, so you do this for me. I did this for you, so you do this for me. And that brings this like unhealthy dependence, and it's like, I don't need to be dependent on anybody. I can take care of myself. I can definitely help and support people. We can be in community. We can love on each other, and, you know, like I said, support each other when we have the space and the capacity to do that. But I do not need you to take care of me. And that's where I feel like I get sometimes. And that's why I have these boundaries up for myself that, yeah, twice a week, I need to have space to myself. One day specifically just to myself, and another day where I am not with my boyfriend. Because if I don't, I lose myself in my relationship. I lose myself in I lose my identity, and I just am like, wait, so you're going there. So what am I gonna do? And it's like, let's take a step back and figure out, why are we all of a sudden needing him to complete us? So I just wanted to get on here and just talk about, just be vulnerable about me losing myself. I honestly do this often. I'm learning how to be in a relationship and still be Kier. I was not necessarily taught, but what was modeled for me was more so just always like this. Like, there's a verse in the Bible, and I think it says, the two become one flesh, talking about marriage. And that's kind of like what my parents embody. Even though I did talk to my mother about this briefly, and she kind of said like, oh no, we're not codependent, we have our own lives and da 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 da. I'm like, From my perspective, that's neither here or there. But I just know my natural, and it might not even be them, it could just be something in my head. My natural tendency in relationships is to be just codependent. That's what I thought relationships were. I thought, oh, my best friend, my boyfriend, we're like this all the time. He goes here, I go here, I call him every day, he calls me every day. We're just constantly. And it's like, that is not healthy. That is not healthy. So I want to get on here and just be vulnerable about that. I'm working through this like right now as we speak. Yesterday was like a whole shit show of a day. And I just kind of like was like processing things, writing stuff down, just like letting myself feel my emotions and just sit with them for a minute, and then just kind of be like, okay, what's the game plan? Like, do you want to sulk in this all day for the rest of the day? Or do you want to take this and work on it, create a boundary, learn from it, and continue to live your life? Because life doesn't stop here because your boyfriend decided to make plans with other folks and did not include you. Yeah, it doesn't care. I'm talking to myself. So yeah, what do you guys have experience with this? Not guys, folks. I like to use folks. What do you folks have to add to this? Do you have experience with just kind of like losing your sense of self, losing your identity? And what are some steps or things that you do to like bring yourself back to center, bring yourself back to a good foundation? Yeah, I just want to talk about that because I feel like that is definitely a tendency in our community where us as gay men, I always say this because for me, it's true for me, we were kind of stripped from our families because we were not accepted. So we didn't necessarily get that love. So we go out into this world and we kind of like look for that in other people. But are we looking for that in a healthy manner, or is it in an unhealthy manner? Do you think that might be why some of us have a hard time being in relationships, because we don't know what is a healthy relationship? Talk to me down below in the comments. Also on Instagram, I'm getting nice conversations on Instagram. I love having like the private one-on-ones and the DMing, just exciting. One of my, they follow me on Instagram and they're one of my subscribers. We have great conversations, and they actually said something that helped me in the process when I was triggered, and it just really warmed my heart to know that this platform, YouTube, that I'm using just to be vulnerable and be honest about my growth, has kind of like did a whole 360 where I like initially was like, oh, I have all this to offer and support people, and now like you are supporting me, and I think that is just like, it just makes me smile. So yeah, talk to me in the comments below. Message me on Instagram at kier.michael, and remember to be the change that you wish to see. Take care.